Hey, what's up everyone, it's Marathon here again, bringing today to you guys my new Zulrah guide. The current date is April 29th, 2019 at the time of this recording, so anything that I do say in this guide has potential to change given future updates and game changes. If you're only looking to watch certain parts of this guide, I will also have timestamps in the description for your guys' own ease. So starting off my guide, I want to give you guys some reasons on why you should learn how to do Zulrah. So not only is Zulrah one of the requirements for the hard diaries in the western provinces, but it is also one of the easiest PvM bosses that incorporates both prayer switches and gear switches. I will also be posting alternative gear setups that you can have, as well as what I believe personally, also including what upgrades you guys should get depending on what your budget is. A quick note, Zulrah is also one of the only instance bosses that you can collect your lost items for free without having to pay any kind of fee. And you collect them from this priestess here. However, I should note to you guys that if you do die in Zulrah and the priestess has your equipment, but you also end up dying somewhere else on RS, when you return to the priestess, any items that she did have, they will now be gone forever and you will not be able to reclaim them. So as soon as you die, it's important that you come back here and collect from priestess so you don't forget in the future. So before I begin this guide, the base requirements that I believe you should have to kill Zulrah is going to be both 75 magic, 75 range, and you need to have at least 44 prayer. So while it is possible to get Zulrah kills at lower levels, it is not going to be efficient. You will not be making money, and if you do know how to kill Zulrah at these lower levels, you probably don't need to watch my guide. Despite being PvM, I also believe that Zulrah is a great boss to learn if you're looking to PvP in the future, particularly breeding. What Zulrah does teach you is being aware of where you are standing, because in the boss you cannot be standing on the venom, as well as letting you know how to use your prayers as well as your 15%. And will also teach you how to gear switch. These are all things that you will need to learn how to do if you're looking to brid on any account in the future. And Zulrah will give you a way to practice and learn these different skills without losing money. As a matter of fact, you will make money doing Zulrah. So the quest requirement for Zulrah is Regicide. If you want to do Zulrah, you will need to do Regicide, which has a pre-quest of first Plague City, then Biohazard, then Underground Pass, and then Regicide. Before you can get on the boat, you'll need to talk to this priestess, and then after talking to the priestess, you'll need to be talking to the High Priestess all the way west. After talking to the High Priestess and going through the dialogue, she will say that you can be the sacrifice instead of the gnome here, because you will volunteer yourself. And after talking to the priestess again, you'll be able to go on the boat, board it, and be taken to the instance. Before I get into the different gear setups and the different phases of Zulrah, I'm going to teach you guys 3 ways of how to get to Zulrah, starting from the most expensive to the cheapest. Zulrah is located at the very far most southwestern part of Isafdar. So there are 3 viable ways to getting to Zulrah, which will be by the Zolandra teleport that you can see in my inventory, using the fairy ring code BJS, which requires a 76 agility or 71 and you can summer pi to get the 76 level for the jump, as well as also the charter ship, which is a rather unknown method, but much cheaper alternative to someone that doesn't want to use the Zolandra teleport. So the first and most expensive way of getting Zulrah is using a Zolandra teleport. These are stackable as take you right here. You will be choosing Port Tyrus, which will be all the way west. So for me, it costs 1,600 coins. I'm going to hit OK. And when I exit, and when I cross the gangplank and I check my world map, I will be just northwest of the Zulrah spot. And the only ways that I would recommend this kind of way to get to Zulrah is either if you're learning and you don't want to waste all the money on teleporting here time after time again. If you're an Iron Man and you want to save the teleports, or you haven't really got any of the Zolandra teleport drop, you don't have the agility shortcut, or if you're only getting about 1 kill per trip, where it wouldn't make sense to use a Zolandra teleport, taking away basically 16 or 15k from your potential kill profit, where you wouldn't really be making that much money. Now the last and free way of transportation that I highly recommend for anyone is to use a Drayman staff on a fairy ring. The fairy ring code will be BJS. The easiest way to get a fairy ring is to build one in your POH. Now, if you do not have the Lumbridge and Draenor Elite diaries done, you will not be able to access the Fairy Ring without equipping first the Draman Staff. As you see, I do not have the Elite diaries done, so I will have to use a Draman Staff, and I will be using the code BJS. Upon using the code BJS, it will take you exactly west of where Zulrah is, and you will need 76 agility to cross this stepping stone. If you do not have 76 agility, then I recommend you get 71 and you use Summer Pies to cross it, one bite of the pie. So for those who do not have the quest cape, which would also be the best alternative, teleport to Edgeville, and you're going to come east. And just east of Edgeville and west of the Grand Exchange here, you will see a Fairy Ring. And the other way to get to a Fairy Ring is to teleport using a Slayer Ring to Releka Slayer Caves, and just outside the Releka Slayer Caves, you'll also see a Fairy Ring. This is the most welfare setup that you can have and still be able to do Zulrah. It's going to be full Mystic robes with a combat bracelet rather than the Mystic gloves, because the combat bracelet will give you range bonus. The Mystic gloves will only give you mage bonus. And unless you do have a boot switch, you always want to camp a mage boot. And that is because a range boot will take away from your mage offense. However, mage boots will never take away from your range bonus. For my magic weapon, I'm going to be using a Trident of the Seas. I'm going to be using a Glory, a regular Mage Cape 1, Diamond Bolts E, and a Book of Darkness. So for my range switch, I'm going to have a black D-hide, top and bottoms, a rune crossbow, an Ava so I keep my bolts, and a black D-hide shield. So a black D-hide shield will give you a +7 range bonus, but it will give you a -10 magic bonus. A black D-hide shield can also be replaced with a Book of Law if you can afford it, which will give you a +10 range bonus, which is 3 higher than the black D-hide shield. Will give you 0 magic bonus. So if you do not have Horror from the Deep done, the only other alternative that you can buy is going to be a Tome of Fire. A Tome of Fire is currently sitting just shy of 700k. A Tome of the Fire will give you a +8 bonus. So the Book of Darkness is 2 magic bonus higher, and you also get 5 prayer. The price difference between a Book of Darkness and a Tome of Fire is maybe 100 or 200k, I believe, right now. So the price difference is not that much. It's mostly just a quest, but I highly recommend you knock out that quest so you can get the Book of Darkness. So once you've been doing Zulrah for a bit and you've made a little bit of money and now you're ready to upgrade your gear, the very first item before any other item you should buy is going to be a Toxic Blowpipe. This will increase your damage drastically. And the darts that you will be using for the blowpipe is preferably adamant darts. You could use mithril darts, however, I do believe that Addy darts is probably the best for the price it is. Mithril darts are very cheap, but the increase of DPS for a little bit of increased price is definitely worth it for adamant darts. The blowpipe can either be bought in the GE, or it can be used by using a Tanzanite Fang on a chisel and making a blowpipe. Being able to make a blowpipe is based off your fletching level, and you will need a fletching level of 53 to create a blowpipe. So now that you're using a blowpipe, you'll no longer need that Book of Law as your offhand because this is a two-handed weapon. So now that you've been killing Zulrah for a little more, you've made a little bit more money, the next item on your list to upgrade is going to be an Occult Necklace. You're going to be using this when you mage, and it will increase your magic DPS by a ton. It's only 983k, just shy of 1 mil. It is best in slot as far as DPS goes. So if 5 switches is too much and you still don't feel too comfortable yet, you can always get rid of one of the switches by camping in Avas. So once again, you've been killing Zulrah for a little bit, made some more money, and you're ready for your next upgrade. Your next upgrade is going to be to your Trident of the Seas. You're going to use your uncharged Trident on a Magic Fang. Creating a Trident of the Swamp needs a crafting level of 59. Now originally, one cast on your Trident would have used 1 Death Rune, 1 Chaos Rune, 5 Fire Rune, and 1 coin. The only thing that's changed now is instead of the 1 coin, you're going to be using a Zulrah scale. So 1 Zulrah scale, 1 Death Rune, 1 Chaos, 5 Fire. This will give me 500 charges on my Trident. Another quick thing for everyone out there, both your Toxic Blowpipe and your Uncharged Trident can both be dismantled. And you can get back your Magic Fang, and if I dismantle the Toxic Blowpipe, I will instead get Zulrah Scales. So that's just something to look out for. The next upgrade is going to be to your range setup, and it's actually going to be to your Black D-Hide body and your Black D-Hide chap, and to any kind of God D-Hide top and God D-Hide bottom. You will notice that the difference between the two dehydes does not give you any DPS increase. However, each set of God dehyde will give you a +1 prayer. So wearing the black dehyde, I have a +3, and wearing the ancient dehyde and the ancient dehyde chaps is +5. Now, for anyone asking why I chose ancient dehyde, it's because currently it's the cheapest in the GE. Usually either Bandos or ancient is the cheapest, with the top only being 290k at the moment, and the bottoms only being 175k. You're then going to upgrade your mage to Aram's robe top, Aram's robe skirt, and Aram's hood. So as you see with the Mystic, we have 102 magic bonus. Now, while this won't increase your magic damage percentage, it will increase your magic damage accuracy. So equipping the 3, you'll see that I went from 102 to 121, giving me a +19 bonus. If you find that Zulrah is something that you do enjoy doing and you do enjoy grinding out, then I highly recommend getting Void Range. The next upgrade that you're going to get is going to be a Ring of Suffering. Now, the reason why the Ring of Suffering is preferred over the Ring of Anguish is because the Ring of Suffering will give you more inventory space. So rather than having the 2 recoils in your inventory and the one that you have equipped, you can just have the Ring of Suffering on itself. The Ring of Suffering also offers across the board +10 defensive bonuses, along with a +2 prayer bonus, and you can imbue the Ring of Suffering using 725,000 Nightmare Zone points. Regardless of whether or not the ring is imbued, you can still charge it with Rings of Recoil simply by using any kind of noted Ring of Recoil onto the ring. You can type in how many rings you want to use. I'm going to use all 10. And as you can see, I already had charges in my ring, but it will add on to your charges. So you simply charge your ring, you equip it, and you have to toggle. So currently I have active. I'm going to untoggle it. You disable the effect. And then next, I'm going to re-toggle it. And now I've enabled it. So now it will act basically as a permanent Ring of Recoil while giving me a +4 prayer bonus and +20 defensive bonus across the board. And this upgrade is going to be another big upgrade. This upgrade is going to be to your ranging Amy, which is now going to be a Necklace of Anguish from the Amulet of Glory. The Necklace of Anguish, you'll see that my range strength increased +55, so it increased by 5. My range accuracy increased from 137 to 142. However, my prayer goes from 9 to 8, so I'll lose 1 on the prayer. Then if you look at my defensive stats, I will also be losing some defensive stats, which is almost negligible because defense really does not matter too much at Zulrah. So the other untradeable upgrade besides Void that you can get that is free is going to be Mage Cape 2. This is done by completing the Mage Cape 2 mini quest. And as you can see, by equipping it, my magic is increased by +5. My magic damage is also increased by 2. And as far as the mage capes go, it doesn't matter what god you choose, it's basically just cosmetic. Now once again, you've been killing Zulrah for quite some time, you want to get another upgrade, and I recommend that your next upgrade will be to your bracelet slot. Especially for those who do not have any RFD gloves, you might want to upgrade this earlier. Before the Anguish, it's up to you. Once it's equipped, you will see there's a big difference in the magic damage percent, and then my magic accuracy. I'm at +126, and my magic damage is still at +12. However, equipping the Tormented Bracelet will give me a +5 to my magic damage, which will now be turned to +17. And my attack bonus will now also turn it into +133. So this next upgrade is going to be very small. It's not going to cost a lot either, but it's not that important of an upgrade. That's why I have it listed so much later. The only reason I do have it is because your upgrades after this are going to start costing even more than the previous ones. So your upgrade here is going to be to your Mystic Boots. What a lot of people do not know are Wizard Boots actually have a higher magic attack and defense than Mystic Boots, despite Pures being able to wear the Wizard Boots. So as you see with the Wizard Boots, my magic will increase by 1 to +134, and I will also have my defensive bonus of my magic increased by 1. Once again, you can see the difference. And Wizard Boots right now are only 350k. Now, as far as range is concerned, this is actually going to be your best in slot gear. So as far as range is concerned, if you do not have Void, this will actually be your best in slot gear until you get to Armado. A lot of you might be asking about Carols. Well, if you see if I equip my Blessed Dehyde, and then I equip my Carols, you can see that the range attack bonus does not change. And like I said, the defensive bonus really does not matter that much. And as you can see, my range bonus is the same. I would actually say the Blessed Dehyde is better because you get the +2 prayer bonus. So I would actually recommend you stay with the Blessed Dehyde. So now that you've been doing Zulrah for this long, where you've had all these upgrades, there's absolutely no excuse to not have Void at this point. So I highly recommend you go get Void, because Void will be your best in slot. for basically every method from here on out. So from here on out on the guide, I'm going to assume that you did do what I told you to do and you did go get your void. So now your void will be your best in slot range. So the only other upgrades that you can get from here on out is going to be to your mage setup. So your next and final upgrade to your boots is going to be from upgrading to the wizard boots to eternal boots. So anything in between the eternal boots and the wizard boots is basically not worth it. So once you have enough money for eternal boots, you get the eternal boots. Until then, you would just wear the wizard boots. Each ancestral piece will only give you a +2 magic damage increase. So due to the fact the ancestral hat is so much cheaper than the other two items, getting the +2 damage increase should be your first priority due to how cheap it is compared to the other two. The ancestral hat only increases your magic accuracy by 2 compared to the Aram's hood. However, what we're really going after is a magic damage % increase. So once you upgrade your hat, you're then going to upgrade your ancestral robe bottom because it is about 5 mil cheaper than the robe top. And having the ancestral robe bottom will increase your magic +4, but it will give you that +2 magic damage increase, which we are looking for. You will then lastly upgrade your ancestral robe top, which will give you a +5 magic damage attack and the same +2 magic damage increase. So a lot of people may have been wondering why we have been making all these upgrades to our mage gear, but we still have the Book of Darkness as our offhand slot. So as I said before, it gives you a +10 magic attack and a +5 prayer bonus. In my opinion, the only item that is better than a Book of Darkness for Zulrah would be an Arcane Spirit Shield. So an Arcane Spirit Shield, however, is very expensive, 135.5 mil. So it's not very important as far as upgrades go. It's only going to give you a +10 magic bonus compared to the Book of Darkness. The Book of Darkness is a +10, the Arcane is a +20. The reason why I think the only better offhand than the Book of Darkness is the Arcane Spirit Shield is because the Book of Darkness's prayer bonus, which really helps quite a bit. So if we see right now, my prayer bonus is +14. A Malediction Ward gives a +12 magic bonus compared to the Book of Darkness's +10, which will give you 2 magic bonus more, but you're losing 5 prayer bonus. So aside from the Malediction Ward, you could get an Ancient Wyvern Shield, which will give you a +5 magic bonus over the Book of Darkness. However, you still lose that +5 prayer bonus. The Mage's Book is the same as Ancient Wyvern Shield as far as a magic bonus is concerned. Both give you a +154, but both still take away the 5 prayer bonus that the Book of Darkness has over all these items. That is why, in my opinion, the Book of Darkness is superior to these 3 mage offhands. The only one that I would say is better is the Arcane Spirit Shield because of a +10 magic bonus. The others only give a +5, and the Arcane still gives you a +3 prayer bonus. So this is basically the setup you will have for max mage. The only other thing that you could have would be Sanguinesti Staff, which will give you a +1 hit over a Toxic Trident, or a Trident of the Swamp E, which is exactly the same as a regular Toxic Trident. The only difference between these two is a Trident of the Swamp Enchanted can hold more than 2,500 charges. So these 2 other alternatives you do not need to worry about. However, if you're going for speedruns, you can use the Sanguinesti Staff, and you could probably substitute out a Ring of Suffering for a Seer's Ring Eye, and alternate between the 2 when you need to clear the Snakelings and when you don't. Real quick for anyone out there that's looking at the scuffed MS Paint craft that I made, if you see any gear that's not on this list, it's probably because I don't believe that the benefits of that gear are justified by the price. In other words, I believe that you're not getting enough of a benefit for how much the item costs. So I'm going to show you guys how to kill in basic gear. You don't have to do this, but I like to do it just so I get a little edge, because when you have to eat, you could lose DPS depending on when you eat. So I pre-pot by having a anglerfish. Then I'm going to now use my Slayer's Ring. I'm going to teleport to Relica Slayer Caves. Run outside here. Equip our drum and stuff. And use Last Destination BJS. Alternatively, like I said, if you don't have the Slayer Ring, you can use Edgeville or the Quest Cape. But if you don't have either one, then Edgeville. And in order to be able to use Fairy Rings, you have to complete Fairy Tale 1 and partial completion of Fairy Tale 2. equip our tridents, go in. So what we're going to do, we're going to come all the way to the northeast. You're going to do this at the start of every single kill. Turn on Mystic Might, right-click Zulrah, and attack it as soon as that little cutscene is done. And because we're going to need our inventory slot open for when we switch to range, we're going to drop a shark after we auto to not lose DPS. Attack Zulrah, and once we see it's done spitting out the venom, we're going to look for what it's going to be. So we got range here, and this is basically going to be the easiest phase where you take the least damage. As you see, I'm venomed, so I'm going to take a sip of my anti-venom. You can do that by clicking your HP. A lot of people don't know that, but I would also recommend that you only have anti-venom, nothing less, otherwise you're going to keep sipping it. And you see I switched to mage there. You don't have to do that. I just do that because sometimes it reduces the chances of the little snakelings hitting you. So same thing, because it was range, we're going to run all the way over to the west because next is the melee. So we're going to get ready to run here. So we see it's looking at us. So we're going to run over here. Auto it. We can get one more auto off, and then we're going to have to run back all the way north. Get one more auto off, and now we're going to take a separate range pot because we know mage is going to come here next. Pray mage. Get our melee up. Start autoing it. And here, if you have venge, you would want to start using it. So I'm at 31 HP. I'm going to eat there because Zulrah does have potential to hit a 41, and there's no reason to risk it. So once I'm done here, I'm actually going to eat again. We'll even eat our Krombon. We're going to pray mage, switch over. Same thing. So as you see, it's ranging me unluckily. So hit me again. So that's why you have the combo food there, because it could have K'd me if I only had one. And I don't need to pray my overhead here. It's just kind of instinct. As you get the flow of it, you'll start knowing. I'm at 1.6k. And to be honest with you guys, I don't really have it memorized. I just kind of see what's coming. So I know, but I know range is going to come here next. And same thing. You do need to make sure you check your recoils to see how much. So I have 16 points of damage left. So it'll kill 16 more snakelings, assuming the mage phase doesn't hit me at all. So same thing. It's ranging me quite a bit. Kind of an unlucky kill because it's been ranging me like crazy. So now I know it's done autoing me. So next phase, it's going to alternate. This side does mage first, so it's going to be mage, and then range. Let me switch to my, and then back to mage, and then range, and then back to mage, and then back to range, and it'll keep alternating between attacks like that. Oops, I think I ate a little early there. I mean, excuse me, I think I switched a little early there. So same thing, over and over and over, until it stops. So now it's done. We're going to switch back to our range gear, and it should be dead here. There we go. As you can see, basically I had most of my inventory. That was just a very unlucky kill. I'm actually going to loot this shark here from earlier. And I think I can get one more kill. But as you can see, that's the beauty of having the book and high prayer. So maybe 5 switches is a little too much for people, especially if you're just starting off and you're still trying to get the flow of things. Maybe, you know, that's a little bit too much. See, I missed one. Maybe that's happening sometimes. You're forgetting your book, whatever. So we're going to actually have fewer switches. So because this gives you a negative magic offensive bonus, I'm going to just camp the book strictly. And we're also going to camp in Avas, so I don't lose any of my bolts. And we're going to deposit these 2 items. So now, what was originally 5-way now becomes a 3-way. Much more simple for both forms as well. So I'm going to go back in, eat my shark, sit my prayer pot, and let's go back in, do the same thing. We should be able to get one more kill. I'm actually going to quickly break my recoil because, yeah, my last one has 6 left. So right-click Zulrah, attack it, and then attack it, move, attack it, move, until we get to the same spot. And I'm going to hop after this world because it is very laggy. But same thing, now we're going to be looking for if it's melee. Okay, so it's mage. This phase, usually you take the most damage, so a little unlucky. If I want, I could hop out of the world and try to get a different world in a different rotation, but for the sake of the video, I will stay. So same thing, got venomed. It's gonna take a sip. Start moving south. Make sure it's on make sure it's on rapid. For range here. And you need to be standing 1 tile north, otherwise you'll get hit by the poison. So once you see it spinning, you can take off your overhead as well. You won't save too much prayer, but you can save a little. And if you want, you have extra prayer points, you can camp the steel skin too. But Rigor has the defense for you. So as you can see here, it's been maging most of the time. That was the first range hit, and it hit a 35. So next thing, we're going to switch back to our mage gear because it's on melee. We're going to run east. And like I said, if you stay by the pillars, you won't get hit at all. We're just going to stay right here. Now we pray range. Sorry if that camera didn't get much of it in there, but you pray range. And next it should be here. We can take off our overhead because it's just going to spit out the snakelings. And we're going to want to move west when we can, because it's going to start spitting out venom. And I will be taking damage to these snakelings, unfortunately, but, you know, it is what it is. I have my recoil on. We're going to pray mage here. Turn on our steel skin as well. Put on our eagle eye. Hopefully we can last this kill. It's going to be a rough one. Very close. Oop, lag. Alright. Oh, very close. Might have to end up telling out here, guys. And actually, for the sake of the video, if I die, I die, so I can show you guys what you gotta do to recover everything. Oh! I tricked you guys, didn't I? So what I do have is 1 free resurrection per day. And that is due to me having the elite diaries complete. Hopefully we get some good loot here. Alright, Zulrah teleports, not too bad. So what you're gonna do here, usually if you don't have a POH or anything like that, you just tell Clan Wars. Run all the way over west until we get to the white portal. Exit the portal, and now we'll be at full prayer, full HP. However, your spec doesn't change at all. So if you have little spec, it's not going to change. Also restores your run. So now I got that. I'll bank my loot, use my Slayer Ring to get back up, and restart the whole process. So now you've been PVMing a little longer. You have some spare teleports left over. And you got yourself an occult, and you got yourself a blowpipe. So we've upgraded our gear a little bit. It's going to be the same thing now. We're just going to teleport. Come east. As soon as we get in, run all the way northeast and see what kind of phase it's going to be. Come in, go all the way northeast. Turn on our Mystic Might. Start attacking it. We're also going to drop our food after the next auto so we can make room for our blowpipe when we switch. Bastion pot is the same thing as a ranging pot, except it gives you some defense. As you see, my defense is increased to 118. However, a ranging pot I think is like 1.2k, super cheap right now. A Bastion pot's like 6k, so you will be using a little bit of money. Now that I got blowpipe, I'm kind of low, so I'm going to start blowpipe specking. I'm going to wait. Auto, move, auto, because you have 2 ticks for blowpipes, and you can auto in between it and move. Same thing, range. This thing's going to die on my recoil. Once I see it's done autoing, I can take off my overhead to save a little prayer, because I know it won't auto me anymore. It's going to switch forms now. Now the mage is there, so I'm going to switch back to my mage. And this is where I talk about you start getting good at switches, because you get used to switching. And it'll help in these changing your 15s and everything. It'll end up helping a lot with learning how to PK. I promise you. So see, I'm 26 HP right now. If it ranges, I'll die. So, all right, we're just gonna combo eat there just to get a little higher while we move all the way over here into position. I'm actually gonna take off my mage prey. I want these things to die because I don't want to just keep my mage prey up. And we're just gonna stay here. So as you can see, the blowpipe is making a huge difference in the DPS that we're outputting. Same thing with the occult necklace. Massive, massive, massive DPS difference. That's why I say they're probably the two those 2 items are definitely the first 2 upgrades that you want. You're going to see a huge increase in your DPS. So as I see right here, I know it's just spitting out snakelings. I can put my prey mage to try to avoid some of the DPS from the snakelings, although it almost seems random what they hit, although a majority of the time it is mage. I was a little late there running west, But I know it's going to be mage next, so I switch back to my mage. So I switch back to my range gear. Ranged me there, mage. Same thing, almost dead. We should get it. Nice, we got it. You see how much food I have left too? Just to the simple fact that I killed it so much quicker. It's almost not worth it if you don't have a blowpipe, to be honest. This, although I did say what the bare minimum was, you should really have this. So this time, I killed it and I still have a lot of food left in my inventory. So it wouldn't really make sense for me to go back. So if you want to kill it again, what you do, there'll be a Zulrah teleport on the ground. This is completely different from these Zulrah teleports. I'll actually drop them one next to each other so you see what they look like. This one's lighter. This one's darker. So let me re-loot that, and I'm actually going to go grab this shark. I almost forgot about it. Almost forgot about it. We're going to just grab that. We'll eat it as well. Take a sip of our prayer pots. Get full HP, full prayer. There's no reason not to if you're going to go in again. If you read the Zulrah teleport, it'll teleport you as if you use one of these. And that will always be there at the end of each one of your kills. So if you want to kill it again, you don't need a bank. You just simply read that teleport. And you could bank, deposit your chest, your loot. Although it doesn't really make sense to, because you're going to eventually end up banking. And you're probably not going to have more food than you are going to have loot, because you end up eating during their waves. Same thing, switch to our mage. Start maging it here. Was a little late on that, only by 1 or 2 ticks just because I'm talking. But hopefully this is helping you guys out. So same thing, we're going to look for what phase it's going to be. Alright, so it meleeed, so I know I got to move. Auto it once, move. Same thing, auto it 2 times. Move. And then now I know it's going to be a range, so I'm going to switch to my range. I know it's going to be mage, and I need to switch to my range, that's what I meant. So same thing. Once it hits lower, I'm going to re-range pot. I can use my spec. Re-range pot, pre-range here. So I can actually take off my overhead because it's just spitting out venom. And because of the fact that it spawned all the way to the west, not here, that basically tells me that next it's going to be mage here. So I could have been ready for that a little bit earlier. There we go. I'm going to spec. Hopefully, alright. We spec something at least. It healed me a little. So I am in KO HP right now, so I need to eat if it... So one bad thing about the blowpipe, you cannot hit Zulrah here unless you long range. So usually when this happens, I just kill the snakelings. No snakeling here, so, you know, long range it once. But that's the only time that you won't be able to hit it with a blowpipe. So that's the only phase in like time that you won't be able to hit it. I've seen some people bring in like a switch for that. Totally not worth it. So silly to do that. Absolutely not worth it. Pre range. Start coming over here. They're gonna die to my recoil. Matter of fact, let's check. Got 9 points left. That's why the suffering is nice to have. Mage again, so we're gonna switch back. Almost dead here. Alright, we're in KO HP. If we see a range, we're eating. Alright. Ooh, I was super late on that combo. I didn't click the combo on in time. So I'm at 42 HP, so I can't die. Move 1 step back. The venom is very close. My ring of recoil is shattered, so I'm going to re-equip my recoil. And next is going to be the alternating. Except on this side, it starts with range. Now I need to switch to mage. Now back to range. Back to mage. It's almost dead here, and it is dead. Very nice. Not too bad of a loot. Unfortunately, the Runite Ore 2 used to be a 10 drop and was one of the best drops, but they did nerf it. So sorry to all you Iron Men out there. You know what? I think we have enough for one more kill. Maybe if you get lucky. Actually, I might do something. I might cheat a little here. I'll show you guys a little tip real quick. So as you see, I have my World Hopper open. So basically, I'm going to keep attacking as normal, but what I'm looking for is a range spawn here to take the least amount of damage. If it's not the range spawn, I'm going to world hop, and you will see exactly what happens. So it wasn't a range spawn, it was a mage spawn. So I'm going to world hop, and it should bring us right outside. Nothing happened. So I didn't risk anything. I didn't risk any death, I didn't take any damage, whatever. Run back, right back in. Try to get the same one that we want. We want the range spawn, because we usually take the least amount of damage there. Now, I don't really recommend you do this because realistically you could bank and it only take a little bit. But, you know, if you want to squeeze in one more kill and maybe you're using one of the other methods where you have to walk all the way over here using the... There we go. We got it. You know, if you're using one of the methods where you need to take the charter, maybe you can consider doing this. to get one more kill for your trip. But it's not given that I'm going to get this kill. I might be able to, but we'll see. Our gear is not the best, but it's not too shabby. If we had the trident upgraded, would be nice. A little laggy still. I think I hopped. Yeah, I did hop. Pretty sure my internet's alright. Don't know why I'm lagging so much. So I could attack while I move there, just because I wasn't sure I was going to get the click in time if I stayed there. So I know I was going to switch now. We don't need a range pod again because I have it. Why not? Forgot my Abba's. A little bad switch there. Hopefully. Alright, nice. Respect something. Alright, Zulrah's being nice to us. Not too many range hits, and the range hit did hit a 0. I don't think we need to pray there. Very laggy. Ugh. Sorry about that, guys. Not sure what's going on. Definitely not my internet, though. I know it's gonna be mage. Alright, so range there, and range again. Be nice to me, please. I'm gonna eat just to be safe. Same thing, don't need to pray overheads there. And I'm gonna cheat and use my augury just because I want to make sure I get this kill. Don't hate me. Same thing. I'll pray range here now. Switch over. So same thing. I don't want to die, so I'm going to stand here and wait till I see it start to spit out venom. Then we're going to run. So now we see it. So first thing mage, then range, then back to mage. This is going to be a close one, guys. Switch back. Switch back. So when you see it auto, so I see it mage, so I switch. I see it range, I switch. You wait till you see it auto to switch your prayers. There we go. We got the kill. Very close, 19 HP. But like I said, if you do die, you just go to the Zulrah Priestess. Not a bad drop at all. As you see, Zulrah scales now make up a majority of your loot. Quick tip for you guys, if your ring of recoil is below 20 points of damage, I would probably go and break it. It'll basically just give whatever ring you have on now 40 charges. So once again, you've been doing Zulrah for a bit. You like the boss. You're going for the pet. You're going for one of the helm. You're going for one of the helm recolors. And you finally finished your void grind. I am so proud of you. Good job, guys. Good job. I know it's rough out there, but we finally got our void. Finally got our void range. We're ready to go get some nice Zulrah kills without having to switch too much either. And you might see at the bottom of my screen, we also have done the quest Lunar Diplomacy. So now we can venge. So if you haven't already, you should always pre-venge when you're at the bank before you come in. Venge, and then same thing. So venge does bring in another interesting dynamic into Zulrah. And I will kind of explain it as Zulrah as this kill goes on. So I see the spawn there, gonna pray range. Lag, yep, there we go. Venom, so I will take a sip. So basically the thing with venges is that you want to use it when Zulrah is on its mage phase and you see a range attack coming to you. There's no reason to just randomly venge whenever your venge is up, other than at the start to pre-venge because you don't know what the phase is going to be. Otherwise these snakelings will just pop your venge and it'll be kind of useless because you already have your recoil doing the damage for you. So if this snakeling dies, I know next is going to be I know mage phase is here, so a little late on my prayer. So I'm gonna wait till I see range there, so I venge. And I recoil that 14. And it is doing a lot of damage to me. I'm gonna take an eat real quick. Switch back to my mage. And as you can see, I'm not the best at switching, but I'm pretty good at switching, and that's probably because of Zulrah. You learn very quickly here how to switch. Switch your prayers, use your F keys. So same thing, mage, switch it back over. We're back on it. So my venge is still on cooldown, but I see only 3 seconds left. Maybe I can venge a range hit if it ranges me. My venge is up. I see it's a range. Nice, I got it. I venged a 40. That's exactly what we're looking for there. Really nice hit. So I see it spitting on venom. I don't need to put my prayer. Look at that. Super quick kill. Venge does a lot for you when you get a nice venge like that. Scroll that down, 140. 140 in this gear is very, very good. Very good. So usually, you know, sometimes you might not have inventory slot. If you don't, you just do that. Use your scales on your blowpipe. As you see, mine's already full, so I still have some left over. Same thing, we're gonna leave, come back. Same thing, just mage it at first, make sure 15's on. We're gonna wait to see what phase it is. Just melee in the middle. All right, so again, range phase, very nice, easy phase for us. Also have my Ring of Suffering on, which makes it very nice. I don't have to worry about my recoil at all. I don't have to check the charges. I don't have to worry about getting more. And that's what happens if you're too late on going and moving on the melee phases. So same thing, we're going to be hovering over it, waiting to see that range hit. You only have a few ticks if it does range, so you need to make sure you pay attention. And the closer you cast the Vengeance to the time it hits you, the more likely it is that you will venge the Zulrah's range hit rather than when the Snakeling's on you. Same thing, hover over it. We have our spec here. Nice, respect. Oh, there we go. We venged the 32. Very nice. The mage phase is over, so I'm not going to eat yet. I'll eat once I see it switch phases. Back over, it'll be over here, and it will start ranging. It's going to do one more Snakeling. So once you see that, I'm going to combo eat here just because I know that there's a delay between the two spawns, so I won't lose out on DPS. Almost dead. Very nice. And as you can see, the more you upgrade, the more kills per hour you will get. Be careful of the Venom as well. Same thing, hover it. Alright, so unfortunately we only avenged it 2. But that's, you know, basically the idea. So we know it'll do one more, and now we gotta move back. Otherwise the Venom's gonna hit us. It'll do 2 Snakelings, 2 of the white shots, and then after that it'll do the Venom. You have to be standing behind her. So same thing, you can get rid of these, maybe get one long range hit. Alright, we didn't. If obviously if you're pure, you don't want to do that. Switch back. Just eat there, hover over. Alright, so ranged. Alright, again, unfortunately, only a 3. Which is kind of ironic that you want it to hit on you, but, you know, it's alright. That happens. Sometimes you get nice venges, sometimes you don't. It is what it is. So now here I know it's going to alternate again. So it's going to start off range because it's on the west side, then switch. So I see the auto, I switch. I see it, I switch. I see it mage, I switch. Am I going to see range? I switch. Keep doing that. So same thing here. I know it's going to be mage first because it's this side, and then range. Ooh, and the Snakeling hit an 18 and killed me. Unlucky. So what you do in the case if you die like that, you equip the 2 items you have, and then you want to make sure you leave enough inventory slots open for basically what your switches are. You're going to teleport back, and we're going to go all the way east. Right click the priestess and collect. She'll give us our stuff. So what you can do is when she gives it, you can equip it, right? And let's say and then if you want to get some inventory space, you'll drop your food, which, you know, you have. And once you drop your food, you can always pick it back up. You'll have enough time before these people try to pick it up. Get all our gear back. Put back our stuff to where it was. Right click collect again. Get back this. Put back our runes in a rune pouch. We'll just sip that. Collect again. Almost done. We'll let's drop a couple more sharks. Because once again, we can always pick it up. And I have my shift click on for anyone wondering. Take a sip of that. And this loot we got, we're going to deposit it right into our chest. Just to clear up the space so we can pick back up our food. And then we can continue our kill. That is why I always bring in an inventory of food. Unless that death really pisses me off or don't want to do Zulrah anymore. I'll bring full inventory of food and pots again, so I don't waste the teleport that I used to get here. Pick all of it back up. Can even put this inside. Grab that, and that's about it. If you want, you can go put the the 1 additional shark in the chest, but it's 700 GP. I'll just leave it. Not a big deal. Now we're gonna resume our kills. So I'm actually going to show you guys a couple of tricks that you can do. So, as I said, you can hide behind pillars to hide from this damage. If you stand right here, you won't get hit by it either, if you come north of it. And hiding behind the pillars to avoid damage works with any phase. Although you really shouldn't use it unless, like I said, you're very low and maybe it's a mage phase, you don't want to get hit by the mage. So once again, if I walk north, I will not get hit by the mage. If I stand here, I'll get hit. If I stand 1 north of that, I won't get hit. And what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to do this. And yes, you have to tank the poison, unfortunately, for a couple ticks. So let's say this happens, right? Didn't do enough damage to Zulrah, didn't kill. So if this happens and you don't do enough damage to Zulrah, Zulrah will eventually just start again from the beginning and do another cycle. So if you don't kill in time, Zulrah will just start from the beginning and do another cycle. So this time, that was the cycle. It was green and it spat out the venom. And now it is spawning a mage to the east. So it started a completely new rotation. And if you don't kill it, it'll just keep doing a new one, and then a new one, and then a new one until you do kill it. So now that I killed it, it's done. But it was basically starting a new rotation. The mage spawned to the east, south, etc, etc. So it's going to be new. So this right here is max mage. The only other thing that you could upgrade is by including a boot switch to your range switch. So when you switch to your range, scuff switch, you will now be basically doing 9 ways. So same thing, when you switch back to your mage, you'll be having to do that. I missed the boots. There you go. Once you have the boots, if you want to do that, I mean, it's up to you. I do it, but instead of the blowpipe now, you can have the T-bow. So the T-bow is better DPS than the blowpipe for all the phases, except for the blue phase. If you have dragon darts, the dragon dart blowpipe will be better DPS than a twisted bow. Max mage is still better DPS than the twisted bow on Zulrah's green phase, and that's primarily due to the fact that Zulrah's damage is capped at 50. You cannot hit higher than a 50. That's the same reason why ruby bolts are not used. So there are 2 ways to kill Zulrah when you have max gear. The first way is using both mage and both range. Using mage on the red and melee phase, and using mage on the green and range phase. And you will switch to your range only when it's blue phase. So the other method with max gear is probably the most lazy way, where you don't really have to switch too much, and that's using full armadillo, including the barrel's gloves, and a T-bow, and a blowpipe. So some of you guys might be asking why I still have the blowpipe. So the blowpipe's used for a couple of reasons. The first reason is it will have spec, so you can basically guarantee that you won't need to eat at all during the kill. And the blowpipe is also better DPS than the twisted bow when Zulrah is on its mage phase or blue phase. And that is mostly due to the fact that Zulrah is hit capped at 50. As you can see, I'm not hitting any higher than 50 at all because it is impossible. So if you're looking at the rotations, you'll see that I got ranged. So that basically tells me what everything else is going to be. I didn't get the melee here, I didn't get the mage here, I got the range here. So that means that I need to run all the way over to the west, and the melee is going to pop up in the middle here. Once I run over here, I can basically turn off my overheads again, as you see, still hitting 50s. And I'm going to do one more auto, and I'll put on my Ring of Suffering, and I'll recoil and kill the snakeling for me. So I have enough time to auto one more time. Yeah, there's a little lag there, but I got there. And now it's going to be mage. So because it's mage, I can put on my blowpipe. I can also venge again, because more than likely it's probably going to hit. Didn't get any hits on my blowpipe there. And usually, if you know the timing, you can last hit with a T-bow. But I wasn't really paying attention there. Maybe on the next one, unless I kill it here. On the next couple of phases, I'll show you guys. So same thing, I have 8 seconds now on my venge, so I'll try to last hit it for you guys. Make sure it's on a rapid. It is. Last hit it here with a T-bow. Just like that. Unfortunately, didn't hit very high. And I can actually take off my overhead prayer because it will only spew out all this venom, and then it'll put snakelings. And as you can see, any of the white right here that kind of looked like sperm almost, those are going to be the snakelings. So I'm actually going to eat here just because these snakelings do have potential to hit. And if both of them hit me for basically max hits, then they could have killed me here. And there we have it. Loot. Go to my POH. Use my portal, and then we can return. Do the same thing. One quick tip for you guys is that if you do enter the instance, but you do not move from this location here, where you have a click here to continue, Zulrah will not spawn and it will not start. So you could technically AFK here if you wanted to go do something or whatever. You're going to pre-venge here as well. So the time the first phase is over, you will have your vengeance back up. We're going to enter at the start of every single one. Use our augury. Hit a hit on the Butte Heart. Let's equip that. I'm going to have it on accurate as well. You can have it on long range. The DPS is, there's no difference between the two realistically. If there is, it's very minimal. It might be like a +3 magic. But see what the next phase is. It always starts in the middle. So now it has two. So now that it's a melee in the middle, I know it's going to guarantee to be a mage. So I'm going to switch to my range gear. There are no blobs or anything. There are no little minions. So there we go. Hit the venge. Gonna revenge now. A little lag there. So after each kill, what you can do is eventually you can end up keeping the loot in your inventory. I'm always gonna switch to my mage gear. Tele home. Take a sip of the ornate pool. And then if you do not have the Lumbridge and Draenor Elite Diaries done, you're gonna have to use your Dreamin' stuff. Last destination, BJS for Zulrah. Once we get out here, I'm going to pre-venge again, and then hop over the stepping stone, assuming I do have 76 agility. If you don't have 76 agility, you'll use a Summer Pie there, if you have 71. So now that I'm pre-venged, it's going to be the same thing. You should leave your preserve on if you're high prayer, because you'll be going to your POH and getting full prayer at the end of each kill. And we're just going to repeat the process till either you're out of pots, or if you do take a lot of damage, you do probably might need a telly or whatever if you need a bank.